Now that we've got all the symbols in place, it's time to do the dimensions. So a couple of things about the dimensions. We had already set up our dimension style. If we come over here to annotate, we created a lot of different dimension styles. Some of them have no arrows. Some of them have arrows. The ones with the words that say arrows in the name, those are the ones that are going to have the arrows in them. But if you look at them, we created mortgage, mortgage 0.0, mortgage 0.00. So as we're doing the dimensions, we're going to put each dimension on the appropriate dimension style just based on the sketch. And another thing is that when we created those dimensions, or the dimension styles, we put in that apostrophe or the foot symbol to be a suffix. So keep that in mind as well. So as we drew this, we kept it unitless. We couldn't put that foot symbol in there. So our dimensions are going to automatically be forced to have that foot symbol as the suffix. Before we get started, a couple of things we need to do to get ready is I need to set my dimensions layer current, and I'm going to come down here. We are going to use mostly, not always, but mostly the aligned dimensions, and we need to snap to perpendicular when we use that. So we're going to turn on the perpendicular O-snap. Make sure your O-snaps are turned on, and yeah, that's it. Let's get going. So I'm going to use, I'm in the annotate ribbon, the dimensions panel, and I'm going to use aligned. If you pull down, it starts off saying linear, so you're going to pull that down and go with aligned. And this is a really cool thing that you can do. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but it is a really cool trick. We are going to, instead of clicking a start point and an end point with those property lines, which remember, those property lines, if we zoom in really close, those don't actually touch. So we don't want to accidentally click the wrong endpoint and get the wrong dimension. So as we start that dimension, if you press enter and then just click on the line itself, it gives you the dimension for the line. It's a pretty cool little trick there. So 124.39. Now we do still need to add the bearing to this. That's just the length. And so if you just double click, and we can just come in here and type. You do want to put caps on, just because we always use all caps, but it's a south, 88. And to get the degrees symbol, a couple of ways that you can do it. If you look at this little @ symbol icon up here, I can say degrees. Just click on that, or I can type %D. It reminds me about that degree symbol. We've used degree symbols before at this point, but that's ways that you can get it. So I'm just going to go with this. It automatically puts that degree symbol in there. I'm going to say 10 minutes, 54 seconds west. And you need a space in here. There's no set distance it has to be. I always do about 10 spaces, just so there's a nice good distance right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is it. Notice it does not have any arrows on it. It's just going along those lines. So we'll press enter to end that command, press enter to start the command again, and let's just just click on, you don't even have to double click. Hold on. I think pressing enter did not do it. So aligned, press enter. Now click on that line. There we go. 114.09. We're going to double click on it. And we're going to do south 3, and I'm going to do that %, D for degree, 2 minutes 9 seconds west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close the editor, or you can just click to the side. I'm going to do aligned again. Press enter, click here, 148.08, that's correct. Always double check yourself against the check print when you're doing these to make sure you drew it correctly. South 76, %D for degree, 55 minutes, 41 seconds east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close the editor. The aligned command, press enter. And I'm just pulling it away some distance. You can type in a distance if you want. If you do decide to type in a distance, remember this whole entire thing is 152 units or feet. So make sure that you're doing a distance, that is a pretty big one. You don't want to type, you don't want to make it like 6 inches. You wouldn't be able to see it. It would be basically on top of that line. So I'm going to type this last one here. We're going to do north 5 degrees. % D, 14, 13, west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close. And that looks good. We've got a few more dimensions that we need to do in here. So we're going to still do aligned. We're going to snap on this corner, and we're going to snap to perpendicular. So that's why we turned on that perpendicular O-snap. Now I do have the wrong dimension style set current here. We needed that one to have arrows and 2 decimal places. It's no big deal, no problem if you did it on the wrong one. This is an easy way to just switch it to the correct one. Let me go ahead and set that one current because I'm going to do one more. Aligned, snap to perpendicular. And that one's 45. Let's see, let's do the trees. Each tree has its own couple of dimensions, so we're still using a line. Just make sure you're snapping to the center of the tree and then snap perpendicular. Oop, I did it again, wrong dimension style. I'm gonna pretend like I'm doing that on purpose. Just so we can change it. So that has 1 decimal place and no arrows, and I'm going to grab it by the grip and just slide it out. We don't want that dimension on top of the trees. So I'm going to go ahead and set my current dimension style to the correct one. 1 decimal place, no arrows. Aligned, we're going to click here, snap to perpendicular, grab it, slide it down. We want to make sure that you can clearly read all the text. Now I'm going to pan up. We've got aligned. Oop, make sure you're getting the center. Snap to perpendicular. This one looks good. I'm going to scooch it over just a little bit. There we go. One more. Aligned. Here. All right, that looks good. One more tree. Make sure we get the center. I don't think that I was snapping to the center. There we go. Center, perpendicular, that looks good. We don't want it to cross through the tree or that dashed line, so be careful about that. And then aligned. This will be our last tree. Grab it by the grip. Just slide it over a little bit. All right, those trees look good. We do have a couple more dimensions that we need to do. So we have that PUE does have arrows and it has 2 decimal places. So let's go find mortgage arrows with 2 decimal places. Aligned. I'm going to actually just shift right click and I'm going to say nearest. That way I'm definitely touching this line, but I don't have to be at the end point or the midpoint. I can just kind of be wherever I want it to be. I'm going to grab that text and move it out as well. That way the arrows go on the inside and my text is out here. I'm going to double click on it. That purple is my given dimension. Don't delete that or type over it. I'm just going to arrow to the right to get to the end of it so I can press enter. And we are going to say PUE. You can put P.U.E. or just PUE, either way. It's short for public utility easement. Almost done. It looks like we just have to finish dimensioning the house itself. Now the driveway is 4 feet, no 0. We're gonna do, we can actually do linear since that house is perfectly, oh my gosh, look, I need to extend. There we go. Linear, here to here, 4 feet. Since that house, we turned on the ortho when we drew it, so those are perfectly horizontal and vertical. We can use linear instead of aligned. And you're welcome to do that little trick where you press enter and click on it. Let's go change the dimension style. We have no arrows, 2 decimal places. Linear, press enter, click here, 43. Linear, press enter, click here, 42. Linear, press here, 55. Linear, now remember, we're leaving no dimension on this one. We're doing that on purpose. And the reason that we leave that dimension off, I think I mentioned before, is these are just land surveyors. It's a surveying company who's coming out. This is an existing property. If that house was built incorrectly, they had nothing to do with that. So they leave that one little dimension off. That way, if there's any legal anything, they're not getting pulled into court. You have to add it up. You can add all these together. You know, what 55 minus 42 gives you whatever that distance is. So that's a pretty common practice. So we're just going to leave it like that. And I believe that's it for the dimensions. Next up, we're going to be doing the notes.